All right, this is another old trick. It's called the no comply. And this one's interesting because it's sort of a mix between an ollie and a boneless. Where you're actually taking a foot off and planting it, but you're popping it with your back foot, sort of like an ollie. But the only difference is you don't actually catch it. Well, you do kind of catch it with your front foot, but you level it out with your leg. So it's kind of a mix of old and new. Even though it's an old trick itself, it kind of has some staying power because it's just kind of different and interesting and versatile.
It does look pretty cool too, especially if you can get it to pop over things. Most of the tricks in the back foot, you know, you step your front foot off and then it's like you've got to do the ollie and the leveling out all with your back foot. And if you hit a curve, sometimes that'll help you to jump up a little bit higher, but as Mike demonstrates, you can pretty much just do it off your leg and create an ollie out of it. And it's a fun trick. It is a little hard to learn though. You take it for granted if you can do it, but just keep practicing and we'll show you our techniques. And
yeah, well, what's cool about it too, like the ollie, there's a lot of variations, so let's go jam a few of these out.
15-minute no comply jam.
Let's do this. Where are we going? Right at the camera?
Place your front foot on the ground to the side of your board while doing a subtle ollie. Push your back foot forward, guiding your board as you jump with your front foot. Level out your board with your back leg if necessary, and place your front foot back on the board, leaning forward and riding away clean.
Action! All right, so there you had it, some no comply variations. If you watch the footage closely, you'll see that Tony's 360 flip no comply, he was actually on the telephone when he did it. Pretty cool.
I had to get distracted to actually make it because it was taking too long. Anyway, there's a lot of variations, you know. Once you take your foot off, you can just kick the board around however you want. 360s, 180s, shifty. And the main thing you want to remember is that when you kick it, you really want to keep your foot pushing it through, because if you just kick it, and the most common mistake is just kicking it out, you know, and the board just gets away from you, and you really got to keep it under your foot, and it's sort of a combination of a pop and a push. What else?
Can't get your front foot back on.
Yeah, not getting your front foot back on. Or if you go to hop and you just kind of, you don't commit to it and you just sort of skip it, you're not going to get any height that way. And so you just got to work on really watching the board and jumping over it. It's a little bit scary to commit at first, but do it a couple times, do it low, you'll get it.
Yeah, it's all feel. You just gotta work on it and feel it. Eventually, with enough practice, you know, all the elements will come together, and you'll be able to nail it.
You could be a no comply master and win your own 15-minute jam. Okay, pressure flips. Pressure flips is kind of an older trick. It's like, what?
Dude, seriously? Pressure flips?
Yeah, what? It's old school. We're doing old school stuff, right?
Yeah, but pressure flips?
Yeah, it's like a flip trick.
No, dude.
No.
You're on your own on this one. I have nothing to do with it.
Okay, fine. I might catch some heat, but I'm keeping the dream alive, you know? Because it's almost extinct and people have forgotten about the pressure flip, and I'm here to bring it back. So pressure flip is basically, it's a kick flip using only your back foot, and you actually just put pressure on the tail at certain points to make it flip certain ways, and I really only do it one way, and mine's kind of like a kickflip varial. But I don't know, people just kind of forgot about it in the early 90s. A lot of people were doing it then, and that was kind of this movement, and then they just forgot about it. I think because you don't ollie into it, so it's not considered cool, but I don't care. I'm not here to win any popularity contests. So basically, for a varial pressure flip, you put all your pressure on your toe and the sort of inside of your tail, and that starts it flipping, and it kind of does like almost like a frontside shove it flip, where it's a varial flip, but if you don't kick it just right, it just kind of ends up doing a shove it. And so you got to really put the pressure on your toes to make it to sort of scoop it. It's sort of like a pushing, scooping action instead of an ollie. And I'll do some, and maybe that'll explain it better. All right, but don't forget about him. Mike V, whatever. Start with your back foot closer to the back truck than on a regular ollie. Push down on your toes and scoop forward, sending the board into an inward heel flip rotation. Keep your front foot out of the way until you see the board come around and the grip tape welcomes you back on. Avoid landing with your rear foot too far back, which is a surefire way to snap your tail. Okay, common problems with pressure flips. Well, the biggest problem is not applying enough pressure. And if you push it out and it just ends up flopping upside down, that means that you're not putting enough pressure on your toes. It's almost like you're trying to get wheel bite. You're trying to get your wheel to hit the bottom of your board there, and that'll send it into a full flip. Another problem is you underturning it, and that's just kind of like you gave it pressure, but you didn't actually throw it forward. But you can actually pivot out of it if you underturn it. If you overturn it, then you're doomed. So, you just got to keep that balance, practice it. That's about it, though,
Tony, man. I was thinking, man. I went for a long walk and I realized I don't want to be a hater, man. Pressure flips are cool. The truth of the matter is I can't do them.
Okay, well, that's fair.